Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
What's up and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be testing some viral overhyped possibly makeup. It is Believe Beauty from Dollar General. It's actually Dollar General's makeup line. But before we get started, if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back and thank you so much for coming back. It means so much to me. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big fat thumbs up, and without further ado, let's try it. So I did get foundation, concealer, and the powder. So that's what we're going to be reviewing today, and we're going to see how well it all combines together. So my skin is already nice and moisturized, but I am going to go in with my normal primer that I use on a day-to-day basis, and that is the Benefit Professional. So I go in with the Benefit Professional all over my face like this, and I did already do my eyebrows just because I'd be looking crazy without eyebrows. And then I go in with the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer, and I focus that just in my T-zone, and it kind of gets rid of my terrible pores. So I did get a couple different shades of this foundation just so I could make sure that I have a good match if I like it. So this right here is the component, and I can confidently say that this feels like a luxury foundation.
$5.
So I'm just going to take just a little bit like that on my finger and kind of see where I'm at as far as a color match goes. This one's a little orangey. We'll see what linen looks like on the skin. Yeah, we're going to go in with linen. I'm just going to take a pump or two of this and put it directly on my beauty blender. I'm going to start with one and just kind of see where it goes, what the coverage actually looks like. And the concealer that I got is in the shade Fair, and I'm not quite sure it's actually going to be fair enough, but we'll see. So far it's definitely like a natural skin finish, which can be a good thing. I'm more of a full coverage person, and even now that my face is doing this, even though I probably shouldn't want to put a ton of makeup on, I like to cover it. Going in with another pump for my forehead. I feel like when I do my actual skin tone, I look like a ghost. So as you guys can see, you can still see a bunch of my blemishes. You can still see the redness through my cheeks. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go in with one more layer and just kind of see where we're at from there. It feels nice on the skin. It doesn't feel very heavy, but it's also not covering what I want it to cover. But this time I'm going to go in with Porcelain just because I feel entirely too white, and I'm going to go in with 2 pumps this time. And we'll see how well this layers, because for one, I don't want to be that white. Even though I am that white, I just don't want to be that fair. And then we'll see how full of a coverage it really is without being cakey. Okay, we're getting there. We're much more closer to the range that I like to be as far as foundation. Naturally, when I went to go get this actual foundation, it was so picked through, I guess because like literally it's a pretty popular foundation on the market right now. I got the last of the Porcelain, which is the color that I'm using right now, and there was only 2 concealers left, and I grabbed them both. So we'll hope for the best on that. So far it seems like it's doing really well. So there is still just a little bit of redness peeking through right here. You can see my pimples. I should have concealed them, but for the sake of this video I didn't want to. So this right here is what the second layer looks like. Overall, I feel like it looks pretty good. I do have a lot of texture right now. I feel like any foundation is going to show that just because it's there. But overall, I feel like it looks pretty decent. It's not too bad of a match. I mean, I feel like it definitely looks better than linen because linen had me like Caspered out. It looks really good on top of that Tarte primer. It looks really good on my pores. Like I said, I have texture, but it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. All right, so we're going to go in with the concealer. Your Covered liquid concealer is what it's called. Now this concealer was $5 as well, I believe, or it was $4. It was $4 or $5. I can't remember. All together on 3 products, on foundation, concealer, and setting powder, I spent $14. So that's not bad at all. But this is in the shade Fair, and I'm kind of concerned that it's not going to be fair. I'm fairly certain this is the lightest shade that they make, so we are just going to go directly in and see. I don't think it's going to be light enough. I feel like it's darker than my foundation. But for the video's sake, we're doing it just like we would do everything else. If it's the same color, we can get down with that because it will still show you how it's actually concealing. Let's see when we start to blend it out. It may be a tad darker. I think it is. Just by a little bit. I can't tell. I feel like it's just like a shade darker than my foundation. Which will be okay because if I like how it actually performs, I can use it when I have a spray tan. So I'm gonna go in with just a little bit more under my eyes and just see. It's darker for sure. It's darker than my skin, or my foundation, but I feel like my under eyes look pretty well. It's definitely not as thick as Tarte Shape Tape at all. Definitely not like that. Not that type of coverage, in my opinion. But it's also not bad for a $5 concealer. I feel like it could definitely be a lot worse. It looks really good on the skin, I can tell you that. It doesn't look cakey or anything. It looks great underneath my eyes. It's not settling in my fine lines or anything. Definitely darker. Okay, so overall, I think it has a fairly decent coverage for how cheap it is. It doesn't feel too heavy. It's a medium to a full coverage concealer, I would say. But we're going to figure out about this powder because I feel like this is what everyone's been ranting and raving over. So this right here is what it looks like. This is in the shade Translucent. It doesn't look translucent. It does not look translucent. But we're just going to take it like we normally would. And we're going to put it right under our eyes and see. Oh, whoa. That is so finely milled. It kind of... very, very, very finely milled. It kind of reminds me of the Cover FX setting powder that's super finely milled, and it kind of has a weird smell to it, not gonna lie. It is making my under eyes just a little bit dry. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the brush for the rest of my face, and I'm just gonna treat it like I do any other setting powder. Y'all, I'm dying. Can y'all see it? It's in my throat. I'm trying just to get just a little bit, but it keeps puffing. So it's definitely not translucent, and I feel like it's oxidizing darker. It is kind of settling in my fine lines up here on my forehead. Maybe it's the concealer that made everything too dark. It didn't look it until I put the setting powder on it. This is what we have without setting spray on. You can still see a tiny bit of redness through my foundation right here. This side looks okay. I definitely have an orange tint to me. That powder is so finely milled that it just puffs and gets everywhere. That's not saying that it's not going to be a good powder. I'm going to set my face and we'll see how it feels from there. So, it's definitely oxidizing. I'm orange. I'm waiting for the setting spray to dry, but that's not going to change the color of me. It feels nice on the skin. That concealer was definitely the wrong shade. I'm going to zoom you guys in and see if you guys can see this. You can see little patches of skin where it just didn't stick very well. I'm going to go on a whim and say that what messed me up just now was this translucent powder and the concealer. Okay, so I put on some mascara in hopes that I would look a little less stupid but that didn't really help me at all. I am orange, and even though I can tell, I'm looking at myself right now, even though I don't look that orange, I mean, I look orange, but I don't look that orange. You should see me in person. I look like a little Oompa Loompa. I'm definitely going to continue to try out this foundation. I don't think it was a foundation. I think it was the setting powder, which super upsets me because it kind of reminded me of my Cover FX setting powder, and I love that. Concealer in general was not light enough for me. I'm wondering if I don't think they do have any fairer shades than what I got. I got the shade Fair. So unless it says like white or Casper, I'm not sure it gets much fairer. But yeah, this is how I feel about Believe Beauty. I think the foundation is going to be a hit. I think I can work with that. And maybe I can work with the setting powder, not in a baking manner, maybe just very lightly with a brush. But yeah, I've got fine lines and I'm orange. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.